lesson this morning. How we can have what's on the other side of the valley. And it's right here in verse number 4. Everything that we need to experience on the other side of the valley, David shows us in this one verse. Do you have time for me to talk about it? First of all, David begins, says, yea, though I walk through the valley. Talk to me, somebody. Of the shadows of death, thou art with me. Yeah, David lets us know that, first of all, on the other side of the valley is God's presence. How many know, amen, it's just good to be in the Lord's presence. Amen, when things is going bad in your life, always remember the Lord never leaves you. Talk to me. You always walk off and leave him. But I'm so glad, even when I'm going through something, I got the Lord right there with me. Talk to me. He said, I'll never leave you, nor will I forsake you. I don't care how bad it looks. Amen. It ain't over till God say that it's over. Talk to me, somebody. I don't care how broke you is. You really ain't broke because your daddy is rich. Talk to me, somebody. You may not have no physical money in your pocket, but your God got everything. Because David said in Psalms 24 that the earth, y'all want to talk to me, is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. Everything and they that dwell therein, I got his presence. Oh yeah, I got his presence. That's why I don't have to act a fool when I go through something. Because God is right there with me. Talk to me, somebody. Ain't you glad that you got the Lord's presence 24/7 around the clock, working in your life? Oh yeah, I stopped by to tell you that's good news for somebody that's going through. Stop looking at your problem. Get your eyes off of your condition. Put your focus on the one that's able to get you through whatever it is that you're going through. You need a job? Quit complaining and trust God. Talk to me. Your money done got funny. Change done got strange. Don't know how you gonna pay your bills. You said your daddy is rich. I dare him to call upon his name. I found out can't nobody do me like the Lord can. When you learn to trust God, learn to make him the head of your life. You don't have to worry about not making ends meet because he will do what he said he'll do. David said, I have the Lord's presence. How you know, preacher? Because he said, thou art with me. And as long as I got him with me, I ain't got to worry about what's going to happen. As long as I got his presence, he's going to provide me with whatever I need. If I need comfort, David said, I got his rod and his staff. They're there to comfort me. I ain't got to walk the floor at night. I can lay down and sleep good all night long. Because of his presence, I got his comfort. Do I have some witnesses here? This is what David said. I got his rod and his staff. They comfort me in my times of trouble. Talk to me. I ain't got to walk the floor at night. I hear you, David. In Psalms 121, David said, I will lift up my eyes to the hill from whence cometh my help. Talk to me, somebody. He says, my help cometh from the Lord, who made the heaven and the earth, who will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth Israel, neither slumber nor sleep. Talk to me, somebody. So ain't no sense in both of us being up at night. Just give it to Jesus and go on to sleep at night. And he will be there to comfort you. Talk to me, somebody. Say he will wipe tears from your eyes. Do I have some witnesses here? And early in my ministry, I have to sometimes drink tears for water. Every now and then I still find myself having to drink tears for water. But I found out that David said he will comfort me in my times of trouble. Anybody here know him as a comforter? Won't he comfort you when your burdens get heavy, when your way get dark? Those are the benefits that's on the other side of the valley. If you're going to experience God's goodness, if you're going to experience how gracious he really is, you got to learn to go through this stuff. Stop complaining and bickering about what you don't have and start rejoicing and praising day, but just sleep good at night. Somebody ain't got a hot meal to sit down to, but you still eating. Y'all ain't talking to me. No matter what you think you don't have, I promise you, if you start praising God for what you already got, that opens the windows for more blessings. Anybody in this house know what I'm talking about? I'm showing you how to experience life on the other side of the valley. That's why I can shout, sing, and celebrate, because I've been through some stuff. Talk to me, somebody. I ain't talking about what Big Mama said and what Daddy said, what the preacher said. I've been through enough stuff in my life to know that God is able. Talk to me, somebody. Anybody in this house other than me have tried the Lord and know that He's able? David said, I got His presence. Not only do I have His presence, but David said, I have His protection. Oh yeah, David had confidence in the Lord. Where's your confidence? You know, we have a tendency to trust self. We try to make things happen on our own. That's the reason we're in the predicament that we're in. You see, that flesh will fool you. Yeah. That flesh, let me say that again. I said that flesh will fool you. Yeah. Let me say it again. The flesh will fool you. Now look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, the flesh will fool you. What you talking about, preacher? Let me put it in your lap. You see, you listening to the flesh and not the spirit. Talk to me, somebody. Because that flesh and that spirit are contrary to one another. Talk to me, somebody. And if you ain't careful, if you're not spiritual enough, you will be listening to the flesh, thinking you're listening to the spirit. Yeah. And you end up doing some stuff, and when it don't work out the way you planned it to work out, then you want to blame somebody else. Now talk to me. Amen. But when you learn to follow God's spirit, you can't go wrong. That's why David said, His rod and His staff, they comfort me, because I got the protection that I need, and it comes from the shepherd. Talk to me, somebody. I'm trying to help you to understand, brothers and sisters, that you don't have to worry about paying your bills, making ends meet, because God said, I will supply your every need according to my riches and glory by Christ Jesus. When we understand God's principles and God's precepts and rely on God's promises, God will do just what He said. He will do. David says, His rod and staff comforts me. They protect me. You see, the sheep was hard-headed. Sometimes the shepherd had to put his rod on, break them down. Staff was designed to comfort him. Lay the sheep up on his shoulder, take him back to the fold. Talk to me, sometimes God has to break us down. Have to knock us down. Do I